Welcome back to Frontline News. I am Aisha Nation. It's now time for Frontline Business. The publicly traded company Dolphin Cove has issued audited financial statements reflecting a drop in sales in 2020. Operating revenues for the year ended December 31 was $3.7 million. This was a decrease from the previous year's average of $12.9 million. Dolphin Cove lost $1.1 million in 2020 compared to a profit of $1.6 million in the previous year. The World Trade Organization WTO predicts that foreign trade will expand slightly faster this year than previously forecasted. As a result of the pandemic, global trade fell by 5.3% in 2020, which was lower than predicted. The WTO now forecasts an increase in global trade of 8% this year. Although trade is projected to be higher than expected this year, growth is expected to slow to 4% in 2022, according to the organization. However, the WTO warns that the still raging coronavirus pandemic could impede chances of recovery in global trade. Global food prices increased by 2.1% in March, hitting levels last seen in June 2014. This according to the most recent data released by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. The index's largest component, grains and cereals, dropped 1.7% for the month, halting an 8-month upward trend. However, the sub-index was up 26.5% the previous year. Wheat, corn, barley, and rice prices all dropped, though the FAO said that strong demand from China and India limited the decline. The FAO Food Prices Index is a monthly report that compares global prices for 23 food commodity categories, including 73 different items, to a benchmark year. International aviation stakeholders echoed their calls for Caribbean governments to prepare ahead of time and in cooperation so that commercial aviation can reopen once the region's COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. The aviation industry says it understands that the government's priority is to address the public health crisis. Nonetheless, they contend that the aviation industry has developed and implemented the required policies and procedures to ensure that the industry can function safely during the pandemic. The latest strengthening of the travel restrictions has prompted airlines to cancel and reschedule flights at the last minute, disrupting connectivity and lowering the industry's contribution to socioeconomic well-being. And the stakeholders are expecting governments to communicate with the industry in a straightforward and fluid manner in the future. They added that the air transportation value chain necessitates meticulous preparation in advance to ensure stable and long-term resumption of flights. In Monday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 2,081.52 points to close at just under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 87 stocks, of which 21 advanced, 47 declined, and 19 traded firm. Now, the junior market index declined by 40.82 points to close at just over 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for CAC 2000 9.5% cumulative redeemable preference shares, Siboney Group, Elite Diagnostic, First Rock Capital Holdings, and First Rock Capital Holdings Limited USD. Stocks declined for AMG Packaging and Paper Company, Burita Investments, Berger Paints Jamaica, Caribbean Assurance Brokers, and Caribbean Cement Company Limited. Now trading firm were 1834 Investments, Carreras, Epley Limited 8.25%, Honeybun 1982, and iCreate Limited ordinary shares. Now Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with 14.5 million units, followed by Dermond Trading Company Limited with 2.4 million units and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 1.7 million units. And now for the foreign exchange. Oil prices rose on Monday on optimism over the pace of coronavirus vaccinations in the United States and after the Yemen-based Houthi movement said it fired missiles on Saudi oil sites. Brent crude rose 33 cents to settle at $63.28 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude WTI rose 38 cents to settle at $59.70 a barrel. And that's it for Frontline Business. I am Aisha Nation, wishing you pleasant viewing.